Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be reading a kid's book. Shout out to Here You Are by Mayke Beckmann Briggs. We're going to go ahead and read this kid's book together, and we're going to see our key takeaways. How can we learn from this awesome principle of being where you're at and being more in the present moment? So enjoy the morning show, folks. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk Terror Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercises to help make you the absolute best person you can be, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. Good morning, everyone. Let's go ahead and get zoomed in a little bit so we can see better. We're at the podium today, and we're going to be reading a kid's book, Here You Are. Shout out again to Mayke Beckmann Briggs. If you want the book, if you want to buy the book, there's a link in the description below. Shout out to her as the author. But okay, we're going to kind of rip right through this. Or just take it. And I think there's something, it's funny. When I started reading more and more, it's sometimes I like to take a break and to read a kid's book. And it's crazy how great some of these principles really are and how we tend to overcomplicate things. And sometimes going back to the root of what we wanted to learn and what we wanted to be when we were children and resparking that flame, getting that curiosity, getting that persistence back into us, into our daily lives, I think can be very, very helpful. So shout out to kids' books. This one is Here You Are. Text and illustrations by Mayke Beckmann Briggs. For you. Here you are, standing on the ground, under the big blue sky, among the trees, the flowers, and the butterflies. Here you are, with the clouds above you and the wind blowing in your hair, with the sun warming your face, the air smelling sweet, and the birds singing their songs. Here you are. And everything is so great and so beautiful. Here you are, wondering, who made everything? And why am I here? Here you are wondering about day and night, darkness and light, animals and trees, friends and enemies, about winter and summer, sunshine and rain, about mountains and oceans, earthquakes and hurricanes, loud and quiet, bitter and sweet. Here you are wondering about sad and happy, weak and strong, fearing and wishing, and wisdom and foolishness. Here you are wondering how everything appears out of nowhere, like the waves rise up from the sea, and how everything vanishes into nothing, like the waves on a calm summer's day into the mirror-like lake. Here you are wondering, who am I? Where do I come from, and where do I go? Here you are wondering. Until suddenly you remember the forever, free and true, the sweetest, deepest, and most quiet love of all, so big in the very center of your heart. And you smile and you are happy, for here you are. The end. Interesting. So this book, the child starts to wonder. The child starts to question, who am I? What creates things? How does this all come to be? So let's dive into some key takeaways to see how we can kind of apply this to this sweet story. So some key takeaways, let's rock and roll it. We're going to go to the board for this. The first one I would say is present moment. If you have the ability to be in the present moment, which you do at all times, I believe this is the greatest way to alleviate suffering. I believe this is what we all search for. When you are drinking a soda, when you're smoking a cigarette, when you're smoking weed, when you're drinking alcohol, when you're indulging in anything, I believe what it is that we're truly chasing is the peace and serenity of the divine, of being in the present moment. That's all we're really after. Yes, there's habitual habits and chemicals and things that we continue to digest that make us emotionally crazy. But I truly believe that the drive is back to the divine. We want to be where we are at. Our head is where our feet is at. We are in the present moment. That is the first takeaway I would say, is being in the present moment. So ask yourself this today: how can I be in the present moment today? How can I bring myself, recenter myself? And maybe you like to think of it as a game of focus. We all have a beam of light. There's a lot of chaos going on in our brains, and we have this beam of light, and we want to just practice refocusing it back to where we want it to be. We'll wander and wander and wander, and then we bring it back. We'll wander and wander and wander, and then bring it back. But never forget that the suffering stops when we bring the attention back to the present. This is the present moment living. Okay. Next, I would say, next key takeaway is the power of nature. So in the book, they talked a lot about nature and getting close to nature as possible, whether it's the sunshine or the rain, feeling the sun come down on you, feeling the rays. And when I think of my happiest moments, when I think of myself feeling my best, when a lot of it has to do with connecting with nature. So these computers, these smartphones, technology, fast-paced interaction, flying across the world in like half a day, this is all relatively new stuff. And I think it's easy to shock our systems, and it's not a surprise that anxiety, depression, so much of these just crazy battles going on within our heads are happening day in, day out. And so on this key takeaway, the power of nature and getting closer to nature. So asking yourself, how can you get closer to nature? Maybe you go outside for a walk today. Maybe you live by a river, you live by a lake, you live by the woods. Maybe you're just some type of park, you live in a city, you can reconnect. But getting closer to nature, I think, makes it a lot easier to get back to the present moment, which is the end of suffering. And this is when, not to get into Buddha stuff, but like the emptiness and the divine and all of that crazy stuff. But that is the bliss that we are really chasing. I think Mother Nature does an incredible job of getting us closer back to it. So whether we're listening to the birds today or we're just going out to try and get some sun, we're lacking sun here, which is really tough for me. So I take the dog for a walk and I go down by the river. We just got to plan and scheme to whatever works for us. But getting closer to nature, I believe, is a really powerful thing. Next up we have is the power to like wander. I call it mind wandering. So next time you go for a walk or something like that, leave your cell phone at home. Just pure bliss, pure quietness, and we're just kind of going through the day. You're just taking a time to decompress. I think we all need these moments to just let our mind wander and then come back and then freely, no judgment, no shame, no guilt. I know those three have been crippling to my mind. Like I drive myself crazy all the time with it. I work on this stuff all the time. So I know it's bugging you to some degree. You have some judgment, you have some shame, you have some guilt. I should have had this done already. I can't believe I said that. Well, I mean, maybe I'm just not good enough. Maybe I'm not enough. And the hamster wheel goes and goes and goes and goes. But the ability to wander and recenter, I think we all need this ability I like the words decompression and imagination. Decompress and imagine. So if we can imagine and we can decompress, I think it can be really helpful for us. Another key takeaway from the wonderful book, if you're just now joining us, we read this morning, Here You Are by Mayke Beckmann Briggs. Okay, next one comes up is suffering. So I believe suffering is essentially this gap. Thinking of it as so you are here, so you're right there, and then this is where you want to be. So you are here, and this is where you want to be. Suffering is the gap that's between the space between where we really are and where we want to be. So if we're drifting off, I'm thinking about what this person said to me. I had a sales call yesterday, actually, and the person said, "No, I don't want your service. I don't want any of this. I don't think it's good. No, thank you." And when they said, "I don't think it's good," I felt personally attacked. I'm like, clearly it's not good. It's no good. I'm no good at this. No wonder why I don't make any money. And then round and round we go along the hamster wheel of I am not enough. I'm not good enough. And man, that is just pure torture. But I believe that it's this gap. And in the child, as the child continues to wonder and he's in nature and he's thinking about things, continue to find the most bliss is when he's getting to where you are where you are at. Your head is where your feet are at. If you are able to do this, if you're able to live in the present moment, I believe that we are able to end and alleviate suffering, because pain is not bad. Discomfort is growth, and being able to lean into it and to feel it. There's my girlfriend's reading this book called Dopamine Nation. I can't remember the author's name. Shout out to that book, but combating pain with pain. If I'm in so much pain about my sales process and not making enough money, if I can lean into the discomfort, if I can lean into the pain of getting the work done and doing and getting closer to my goals, I will feel fulfilled. I will feel good. I will feel present. They call it flow. Mihai, Mihai, his book Flow is absolutely incredible. Leaning into the activities that we're doing and just being in that state of flow, being in alignment with what it is that we really want to do. If you tell me you want to blow up a big business, you want to lose weight, you want to be a better person, and your actions are the other way, that's the gap. That's the gap, because that's not who you are. That's not who you are. That's not what you want. So if we can close the gap and we can lean into the pain, why do you think saunas, getting hot as hell, feels so alleviating? Cold exposure, working out, exercise, this is literal pain. And when we're able to lean into this, I think lean into the suffering, I think we can create pleasure that we've never experienced before. If you worked out, you saunaed, you leaned into these principles, you lean into Mother Nature, I believe that we can feel healthier and we can feel happier. And yeah, this is a lot from this little kid's book, but man, these principles in the present, I believe, is the divine, and that's what makes us happier and healthier. Okay. All righty, folks. Let's go ahead and bring this all together. I'm going to share a screenshot for copyright stuff over here. This is where you can buy the book. This is not my book. Again, this is from Mayke Beckmann Briggs. I'm going to go ahead and share my entire screen. That is my website. That is not mine. Okay, here you are. You can buy this at Amazon, you can buy it at eBay, wherever you want to go. Here you are. Great, wonderful book. Awesome. Gave it the shout out needed. Okay, folks. So as we're going through today, whether you go for a walk, whether you just turn off the headphones and the smartphone for a little bit and you just let your mind wander and have your head where your feet are at, I believe that we can alleviate the suffering and we can feel happier, healthier by being where we're at. Here you are, as they said in the book, But cheers to that, friends. That's all I have for today. I'm thinking about doing more guided meditations in the evenings. So I'm curious what you guys think, if people would be interested in that, me doing that in the evening times to kind of have a cool space. And now that, to be totally frank, I usually in the evenings, I don't work and I smoke a little pot and I start to relax and this and that. And now that I'm on a detox and I'm not doing that for a while, I have a lot more energy and I want to kind of try and give back in a better way. So maybe guided meditations would really be cool in the evenings, but you have to let me know. All right, folks, that's all I have for today. Tomorrow, we're going to be going over a coaching exercise. I'm excited. We have a good, like 3 or 4 people booked up in February and a couple more people for the last week in January for interviews for guests coming on the show. So that'll be really fun, but lots more to work on. And I'm also finishing up a new product that's really going to help with this gap concept of closing the gap of where you are and where you want to be. And we're trying to get you closer. And if I can do anything in my power, so I'll be unveiling that product tomorrow as well and be sharing it with you guys. But make sure to read some kids' books. Get these principles down, folks, and see if we can help ourselves be happier and healthier. Sometimes we need to just simplify. I know personally I tend to just overcomplicate the crap out of everything. And when I can simplify what I need to do, who I really am, the fact that I'm staying on the path, I'm not getting trapped in all this comparison crap of my friends are doing this and my mentors are doing this and they're making all this money and they're doing all. I'm on the path, moving forward, we're making progress. And that's all you can ask for. That's what you really want, you know. I'm going to feel so fulfilled over the decades as this grows and as I help people, and I hope you do the same, right? You know, we figure out what works for us, because when we create it, when we go through the pain, when we alleviate the traumas of life, and we create the life, our dream life, and we close the gap of where we are and where we want to be, man, that's the life I want to live. So cheers to that, friends. That's all I got today. As I was saying, I'm going to hop off of here. Got a really busy day. Got a lot of stuff to get done. So you guys have an incredible, incredible day. In case you needed to hear it, I love you. You're a badass. You got this. It's going to be an incredible Wednesday. Let's knock it out. One major thing. Let's get one major thing done and be in the present moment while we're doing it and see if it makes us happier and healthier. Cheers to that, friends. And as always, catch me live 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, weekday mornings, with another episode of Talk to Your Morning Show as we go over another coaching exercise together. Cheers, friends. I'm out of here. Peace. Have an incredible, incredible day. Love you all. I'm out.